Good evening, everyone. The topic that we speak about tonight is marriage, the main problem of the generation, the main problem of the world, not only by the Jewish nation, also all over the world. I saw a survey in Iran, a Muslim fanatic country with strict religious laws. Nobody wants to get married anymore. People are already against getting married, and many are getting divorced. They have serious problems, even in strict places. In the Jewish world, we can divide it into two different categories. One category is the secular world. Jews that live without God, without Torah, whatever they want to do, they do. That's one category. Then we have the Jews that, they live according to Torah and mitzvot. They try to keep the law of God and to live according to the book of God. And therefore they got married the way the Torah say to get married, and they live the way the Torah say to get married. We have to find out what are the differences between those two categories. Maybe you should lower the air conditioner because of the noise, like this here. Also. The fan, just the fan. Thank you. The fan, there's no less fan?
No, I put it on low. That's the quiet.
All right. Yeah, turn it off. Let's see how it's going to be. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. We're speaking about marriage today. The problem of the generation, not only by the Jewish nation, also in different parts of the world, even fanatic countries like Iran or by some of the Arab countries, the divorce rate is increasing. We as Jews focus about our own problem as a one big family, and we divide the Jewish world to two different categories, the religious world and the non-religious world. If we compare between the secular community to the religious community, we find a huge difference in the percentage of the divorce rate and problems in a marriage. Huge difference. However, that's really not comforting us as people who search to live according to the book of God. It's really not a comfort for one reason. If by the religious people it would stay steady, and it's not increasing, and only by the secular world it's increasing, even though it's very sad, of course, because people are people, but at least we can put a finger and say, you see, we told you. You want to live like Goyim, you'll pay the price. You want to live according to the Torah, you save your life, save your marriage, save your children. Unfortunately, I wish I could say it, but I don't like to come and stand in front of an audience and lie to the people. It's not so perfect. It's not so perfect. It fell before I started. It had to fall again in the same minute. It's very interesting. I wonder when we come to Shamayim, I will be very curious to know why the phone fell exactly in the same word. I said before, and the phone get nervous. Anyway, so I wish I could say by us, the religious Jews, the Orthodox Jews that lives according to the Torah, Baruch Hashem, we don't have marriage problems. No divorce, no fights, no problems with children. It's only beautiful and perfect and everyone is happily married. It would be great. Imagine if that was the case. First of all, it would be a huge incentive for the secular people to realize they live in a lie. Because something is wrong, obviously. If we all get divorced, 70% of us, and the religious people don't get divorced at all, 0%, you don't need an explanation. Every fool will get the point. Unfortunately, We have to focus now what's happening in the religious world. How is it possible that people who goes learn Torah, do mitzvot, do chesed, do all kinds of wonderful things, they have love for God, they try to do everything they can not to make sins, and in the end, you hear that they have a horrible marriage. Or if it's not horrible, let's say not perfect, not to exaggerate. The question is, how can it be? So the answer is, in marriage there are also two categories. There's men and women with desire, with love to each other, beauty, aesthetic, being clean, and there is the religious aspect of the marriage. Both of them are crucial for the successful of the marriage. If you have one without the other, the marriage would not survive. If you have the other without the one, also it will not survive. Marriage needs two things. One, you need God to be in your house constantly, not physically God, we're talking the Torah, the rules of Hashem, spirit of the Torah in your house, in order for your marriage to be blessed and successful. Without it, there cannot be a healthy marriage, ever. You can argue as much as you want, I'll prove to you it cannot be. And the other way is, even if you have God and Torah and lots of holiness and lots of book and everyone is tzaddik in a house, if there's no love and attraction between the man and the woman, the marriage also cannot survive. Your marriage will have a lot of problems. You wonder, how can it be? Such a righteous woman, such a righteous man, you check them 100%, and then they're not getting along. The marriage has problems, it's very cold. You don't feel marriage here in a house. This is, by the way, one of the main reasons that couples today get divorced is because when they got married, it was wrong to begin with. It wasn't the right shidduch. One of the reasons religious guys and girls get married today, and it's not the right shidduch, is because the people who got them into that situation did not train them correctly. The world is full of shatchanim. Shatchanim means matchmakers. The shatchanim, not all of them exactly knows a lot of Torah. Sometimes they have good intention. They want to see really another family formed, and another one, and another one. They feel great about doing it. But not always they know what they're doing. They're making sometimes horrible mistake. One of the mistake, the common mistake, I don't want to say that the reason they do it because they want their commission. Because Shadchan makes good commission. Even if he tells you, no, I don't need you to give me anything, according to Torah, you must give him something in order for the shidduch to be blessed. So his commission is protected. He's going to get one way or the other some kind of a benefits of making a shidduch. So sometimes in his subconscious, even if he's normally an honest person, you see he's religious, he's honest, it's fine. He's a good person, means well, he really wants to see you get married. In the back of his mind, in his subconscious, he has to feed his children. And every shidduch he closes could be a few more $1,000s in his bank account. Therefore, it may push the couple to rush into the marriage before they're really ready for it, or if it's bichlal not shayach, if it's not really the right shidduch. One of the common ways they do it is by saying, you are religious, you're not secular. There's no such thing, love, attraction. This is only in Hollywood. This is only in the movies. This is only by the chilonim. This is only by the goyim. I love you, you love me, I miss you, darling, where have you been? Wow, when you're coming home. This is not by our world. We are religious people, we're modest. It doesn't exist by us. And this is a huge mistake. It's a very big mistake. Because if you learn Torah really carefully, one of the things that Hashem is very interested in is that the couple would have the best love. With love and happiness and attraction and everything. It's 100% kosher. There's nothing that the Torah forbids a husband and wife to do besides in the time of the nidah. They can live with beautiful relationship, intimate relation. None of the things that you may think it's a sin, it's a sin. It's not a sin. There are few rules, which is perfectly understandable. And other than that, Hashem is very happy when a man loves his wife and when a wife loves the woman. I'm talking as a woman or as a man, and they have attraction to each other. This is the ideal situation, and this is the way it should be. If it's not like that, that's a problem. If it's two roommates who respect each other and live like two partners in a store, that's where the marriage is not healthy. How long this fake marriage would last, we see today that not that long. In the previous generation, maybe in the time of your grandparents, when they live in Muslim countries, then a woman meant nothing. Woman was dust in the wind. She have no rights. That's like a maid. They took her. The father decided, you marry this guy. End of story. She didn't have that much to do. What would she do? She would resist. She'll be in cherem. She'll be in isolation. So women suffered. They lived with men. They cannot. Not only they don't love, they can't stand. Sometimes it was a constant nightmare. She's 20, 22. They put her somebody 45, 50, 60, whatever the case was. She has no rights. He gave a lot of money to the father, just like by the Muslims. And basically, it's like selling his daughter. And today, Baruch Hashem, million times, finally people are not as primitive and foolish, and they don't sell their daughters. And a good parent wants his daughter to marry a man that is good, that has good personality, that she would have real marriage and love, and she would love her husband. A normal parent, that's what he wants. The Torah says, Ki imkor ish et bito. When a person will sell his daughter, the Torah didn't say, Ki imkor abba, av et bito. Ki imkor ish. Ish means a stranger, a man. What does it mean? The Torah says, when a father sells his daughter, this is the rules. Why the Torah didn't say, Ki imkor av et bito? The Torah explained, someone who sells his daughter for personal gain, it cannot be called a father. Understand? That's not a father. That's a very cool person. So what happened is here that the most important condition is two things to be in a marriage. One is love, attraction, warm relationship, but that's not enough. If it's only that, it's also a problem. And second, Torah and religion. Now, let's talk a little bit about Torah and religion. I said before, a comment that may get some of you, I don't want to say upset, but resist to what I say. I say, if you don't have holiness and Torah present all the time in your house, your marriage can never be successful. The answer I say it's not because it's my opinion, because this is what God says in the Torah. Let me explain to you where does it say it. It say ish, you spell Aleph Yud Shin. Isha, Aleph Shin Hey. The Torah say if you take the Yud out of the Ish, it becomes Esh. Esh means fire. Ish, it's man. You take the Yud out from between the Aleph and the Shin, you take the Yud out, it becomes Esh. Isha, you take the A out of the Isha, it's also become Esh. Yud and Hey, it's the name of God. ואנחנו נברך יה מעתה ועד עולם, and we will bless you. Ya means Hashem. We take it out. Yes, it's ruining the recording. So, ואנחנו נברך יה, and we're going to bless Hashem מעתה ועד עולם. Means we're going to bless Hashem for eternity. Hashem means Ya. That's the name of Hashem. So therefore, if you take Hashem out of the Ish and Isha, it becomes fire against fire. Insults, violence, disrespect, and many other worse problems that occurred as results of that. You may say, I know secular people that they don't have God, and they don't have religion, but they have great marriage. The answer, only from the outside it looks like that. Some people, they care very much what people think about them. And they clean the dirty laundry in their homes. They don't take it out. Some people don't care. If they have a fight, they show it. Many politicians, they have horrible marriage. horrible. They curse each other, they beat each other, they cheat on each other. But when they go to events, they know it's very bad for each one of them to show that their marriage is horrible. So they smile to the camera, they hug each other, even though an hour ago they were ready to take a gun and blow his head off. This is exactly the situation. So why they put the show? Because it's not good for business. Because in politics, still in America, most of the people have Christian value, and Christian value also support family not to be broken, not to be divorced. Therefore, if you want to get elected in your next time, or you want to be successful with the voters, you have to present that you're a good family man. If you, by the way, you should know, Mayor Giuliani was a wonderful person. He was very good. He did a great job as a mayor of New York. He was fantastic to the Jews. And he saved New York basically after the destruction of the twins. And he was a very, very good candidate to be the president of the United States. And the reason he gave up, because all the polls showed that the people will not vote for him because his marriages all fell. He had bad marriages. So you see, even in a country like America, they have no Torah, no Jewish values, but they still did not want him, even though he was a great leader, very good leader. Nobody disagree about his values and skills as a leader. But as a family man, he wasn't good. Nobody wanted him. It's amazing. You see that it's still in a world today, there's still things that may sound a little primitive, but still people in this country, they care about family values, even though there's no values anymore in this world, but this is what's happening here. Now, why from the outside it looks great, but when they are alone, if you put a candy camera, then you will find out that all these marriages of your friends that are not religious, that you think their marriages is great, you will find out they're far away from being great. Now, why is it? The answer is, when a person connects to Torah, that means the marriage have three partners in it. Him, his wife, and God. If it's only him and his wife, the nature of the human being is to be ungrateful. That's the nature of the human being. Some people you see it more obvious, by some people you see it less obvious. But the nature of a person is to forget very fast who did a huge favor for him. Within days or within hours, sometimes you forget how much you owe that person. I can tell you from experience that I had in my life people that I made them religious, got them to what they are, they were able to establish Jewish home and have religious kids, and in the end they went and fought against me. Not only they did not appreciate that according to the Torah, they owe me eternity of gratitude, and it's not going to be enough, according to the Torah. Not that I need it, but I'm just telling you the law. And what did they do? Not only no gratitude, not only no support, in the end they went physically to fight against me in different things, in politics, in Lashon Hara. So this is to show you the nature of the people. But we are nothing better than them. How many of us do it to our own parents? How many of us have enough gratitude to our parents who worked so hard to raise us? They came to this country with nothing. They work like dogs, winter, summer, extra hours. In the end, the kids become teenagers. They don't even look at their parents. Some of them embarrassed if the father or the mother would come to school in front of the friends. Why? Because maybe they have a little bit different accent. Or they don't dress exactly like the provocative women of New York. Maybe they have more values a little bit from a different country. But this is a sign of ungratefulness. And there's millions of examples how a person can be ungrateful. That's not the subject here now. So the Torah makes you a third partner in your marriage. It's you, your wife, and Hashem. Since between people, it's ungratefulness, and they don't think they owe, and they already got used to the person, so they don't feel you owe her, or she doesn't feel she owes you any respect. With the horrible value of today's generation, the only thing that can help the situation and fix it, when you know, I'm going to pay the price when I come in front of Hashem, I'm going to pay the price big time. Why? Because in the Torah constantly educates you that when you have to be a kosher Jew. Rule number one, you have to be a grateful person. You cannot be ungrateful. If you are an ungrateful human being, you are a wicked person, even if you shomer Shabbat. even if you put tefillin, even if you build a shul for $10 million, if you are an ungrateful human being, you are wicked. You must correct that problem. The second rule when it comes to being grateful is that the more you owe the person, the more he did for you, the more gratefulness you have to give towards his side. You cannot take a person who gave his life for you and helped you for many years, ignore him, and someone who did a little favor for you, give him your life. If you do such thing, you may say, okay, well, I'm not perfect, but at least I am paying some back. Here, it's not that I'm completely ungrateful. I am appreciating what people are doing. The answer is no, that's not considered gratefulness. Actually, that's a sign of ungratefulness. When you prefer to pay back someone who did almost nothing to you, and you ignore your own wife who gave her life for you, or you ignore your husband who gives his life for you and the family, but you will be nice to him and to her and to your friends, and for everyone you have time and patience, and for the one you owe everything, you basically don't want to do anything. That's a sign of ungratefulness. The gratefulness out there will count zero. When you come in front of Hashem, it will actually make your situation worse, because Hashem says, Aniyei Ircha Kodmim, there's a list who your gratitude should go to first. You cannot jump to the end of the list. You have to start, who is the closest person to you? Your spouse, children, parents. Those are the ones that they do a lot for you. If you ignore them and you help strangers, you do chesed out of the house, it won't be count anything. Why? Because there's a requirements who you should start with. So the question is, why it's harder to be grateful to your parents or to your wife, but it's much easier to be grateful to a friend? Check, see that it's the case. It's much easier for you to be nice to your friend who did a favor to you and to appreciate him with tears. But if your parents did 1,000,000 times more for you, you take it for granted. You don't feel problem that you didn't ever respect what they did or appreciate it enough. You live with that. Why is it? Doesn't make sense, no? Person gave you $1 million. Person gave you $2. Who you owe more? The one who gave you $1 million, right? Imagine if you now respect the one who gave you $2 much more than the one who gave you $1 million. What people would say about you, they won't say you wicked or evil. They say you not normal, crazy. You need a mental institution. That's what you need. There's no point that you have a brain in your head. You ignore the million and you appreciate the $2. But we all like this. With our parents, with the people that... So the question is, why is it? Are we all not normal? We're all mental cases. What's going on here? The answer is, there is another aspect here. When Hashem made the world, He created an angel called the Satan. He is in charge of all evilness. Everything bad in this creation comes from him and through him. He is also in charge of the Yetzer Hara, of the desires, of all the attractions, of all the illegal things against God. That's his job. He won't get punished from God for doing so bad in the world, because he was programmed to do bad. That's his job. So the Satan, one of the things he does is every time we want to do something good according to God and the Torah, the Satan resists it. Just like in electric. When the electric goes through the wire, every wire has a different kind of resistance. If you ever learn electric, you know how it is. There's resistance. The resistance slows the floating of the electric through the wire. Some material have more resistance than other. That's why when they make the wire, they choose certain material. Not everything is very good molichim. They're not letting the electric go smoothly. They resist, which slow and weak the operation of the whole system. Therefore, the same thing in life. When a person comes to do a small mitzvah, there's a small resistance. If I tell you there's mitzvah now to wash your hand, big deal. I don't believe in it so much. I'll wash the hand. What can happen? How long does it take? 10 seconds. I'll wash the hand. If I tell you it's mitzvah now to give $1,000 to a poor person who's dying, it's much harder now. I work 2 weeks for that. Well, I'm going to give 2 weeks of my life for a stranger? With all due respect to his suffering. It's a much harder mitzvah with a million times bigger reward than washing the hands. The bigger the reward is, the bigger the obligation is, the bigger the mitzvah is, the bigger the resistance is. That's why there is a huge reward for it. I'll give you an example. If you have a business and you have a worker that works for you, he works for you. And then you have one very busy Sunday in a bagel store that you own. The worker is working hard, and your friend is not working for you. He saw that you're so busy, he came, put an apron on, and started to work 10 hours a day like a dog. Work very hard. Who do you appreciate more today? The one who works for you and get paid, or your friend who left everything and came voluntarily to help? Who deserves a bigger yishar koach, bigger appreciation? Who? The volunteer, right? Why? Because the volunteer, nobody forced him to come to work. He did it out of his good heart. Based on what I just said, the Torah said that a man is obligated to learn Torah every day. Women, they need to learn Torah, of course, but they don't have a daily obligation. They must know the laws, modesty, Shabbat, kosher food, holidays. They need to learn a lot, women. But they don't have time schedule. They don't have Agita bam yomam valayla, around the clock, not to miss a day, morning and evening. They don't have the same obligation. 2-3 days if she didn't learn anything, and in the 4 days she learned 10 hours, it's fine. But the man is not good. If a man have 2-3 days no Torah at all, and then in a 4 day learn a lot, so the 4 day was very good, but 3 days he's going to get punished for it. But a woman won't get punished. As long as she learns what she needs to know, eventually she make up the schedule, no problem. Why? She has to raise children, she has other obligations in life. You cannot put her on a schedule. She has things that are urgent. The baby screams now, she can sit and learn. She has to change diapers, she can now and she has to take them to school, she can sit and learn. She has to cook dinner. She has obligations in the house. So now, based on what I say, that the man is obligated to learn Torah and the woman is not. If a woman sits and learns, she makes lots of effort to learn. And the man also learn. Who deserves a bigger credit and bigger reward? The one who's obligated or the one who's not obligated? Volunteer or someone that it's his job, he has to do it? What do we say before?
Volunteer.
Volunteer, right? Comes the Torah and say the opposite. The Torah says the man will get bigger reward than a woman. The woman will get a reward, but the man will get a bigger reward. How come? It's against what we say. The answer is because when a person is not obligated in that mitzvah, the Satan is a robot, like a machine. He's not able to make calculations. He is a machine. He works steady all the time. You know, women are not my fear. I'm not worried about them. Why? They don't have an obligation. I go by the book. Man is obligated to learn Torah. My job is to make him unable to learn Torah. Women don't have the obligation. I don't put efforts on them. I wasn't programmed to go against women because they don't have this obligation. So when a woman wants to learn Torah, she is much less resistant than a man. You see it all the time. She's not obligated. No, do shiur. I give lectures in Great Neck for the ladies' breakfast. They say 1 hour. I go there 9:30 in the morning. We start 9:45. Supposed to go in 1 hour. They don't let me go. If I really want, I can stay there until the evening, and most of them would stay if they don't have other things to do. They love to learn. A man, after 1 hour, check his phone. Oh, getting up, this, no, when, moving like this, sitting in the edge of the chair. A woman, like this, in a dream. Why is it? See it. Why is it? Because she doesn't have the same resistance like he has. The Satan distract him. No, my friend, business is waiting. You're losing money. There's a game. there's a football game, there's a Super Bowl. There always have to be something. And this is the way the world is. So going back to what we said, in the marriage, there are two categories. The religion aspect and the love and attraction between the couple. If one exists without the other, the marriage cannot survive. If the other exists without the first, also it cannot survive. A person must have both of them in his house. So before a person get married, first thing he has to check is, when they offer you a shidduch, most of you already married here, but just that you know they understand the concept. When they come to a man or to a woman, they say, we want you to get married. Do you like this guy? Do you want to go out on a date with this guy? The first thing the girl has to check if she likes the guy physically. Is handsome enough for her? Is not too heavy for her or too skinny for her? Whatever her taste is. Everyone has a different taste. Some people like heavy, some people like skinny, some tall, some short. You know, some people wants with hair, some doesn't mind without hair. Everyone with his taste. If she likes the way the guy is, after that we move to the next step. Now we have to check what's his spiritual level. Learning every day, has value, has good personality, has a rabbi, ask the rabbi what to do, listen to the rabbi. Many people have rabbi only to hang his picture on the wall. When it comes to listen to the rabbi, it's another story already. In the end, they do whatever they want. You know these people, they call the rabbi with the hope that the rabbi would say what my opinion is. If yes, I'm going to say in Shammai, see, I listen to my rabbi. If no, anyway, I was doing it without calling to the rabbi. I'll do it one way or the other, but at least now I have a backup. 50% of the time I can say that I did like the rabbi. But no, but Hashem knows, since you do not listen in the other 50% to the rabbi, Hashem doesn't give you credit when you listen also. Because Hashem knows you do it your way in the end. One way or the other, doesn't matter. So we go back to what I said. She check if she likes him. Yes, women are entitled to like the man like a man, not just like a tzaddik. She doesn't marry somebody that his pictures in every house because of his beautiful beard or because he knows a lot of Gemara. It's important. But first she has to see, can I enjoy him as my husband, as my man for life? And the guy, the same thing. The Gemara say clearly, a person cannot marry a woman before he see her and check her very carefully to know that he likes her. שלא תתגנה עליו אחר כך, that again later on he won't be attracted to her and it will be the end of his marriage. Don't be extra holy. When it comes to this, you still half animal. People are half angels, half animal. Leave the angel on the side for now. Focus on your animal part. What's your animal part? Your animal part is desire. Food, money, clothing, house, women, vacation, sleeping. This is all things that we live with. There's nobody perfect. No one is desire free. No one. Everyone has desire. Even the holiest person in history had desire. Maybe not for food, maybe not for women, but for money. Maybe not for money, but for extra sleeping. Maybe not for extra sleeping, for nice clothes. Maybe not for nice clothes, but for nice house, for sport, for other things. But there's physical desires. If a person did not have any physical desire, he doesn't belong in this world. Hashem would not send him here. He has nothing to correct. He doesn't have desire. He has great personality, no anger, no running after money, no running after women, no food, no nothing, no laziness, no desire. So what does he do here? It's already an angel. Should be in heaven. What? Over here, only the losers coming. Every person who walk on the street, loser number 1, loser number 2, loser number 3, without offending anyone, include myself, the biggest loser. Loser, it's loser. What does it mean, loser? Loser means fail in previous life, fail in a life before, fail in a life before, has to come again. Now, which student is better? One who comes to the test, he wants to be a doctor. He learned a few years, now they have the exam. He come, he passed the exam with very good mark, became a doctor, one day he became, a famous, wealthy guy. He succeeded in what he wanted. Another one came, went few years, learned everything, came to the test, failed. Take another year of learning, fail. Take another year of learning, fail. He's 90 already. Still wants to be a doctor. Cannot see with his eyes. This is us. We came one time to this life, we fail. Hashem send us back in a new body. We fail again, send us back. The fact that we're here, that means we're incomplete. If you're complete, you have nothing to do here. That's why I say, oh, my friend is an angel. My rabbi is like Hashem. Perfect. My this, my that. It's all illusions. Everyone who is here has desire and weaknesses. So now, when a man see the woman, you have to first see that he like her beauty. The Gemara says, "Lo nitnu nashim ela leyofi." One of the major role of the woman in a creation is to be pretty for her husband. That's an obligation. Just like a man has to put tefillin, the woman has to make sure always to be pretty, not for the amigos in a supermarket, for her husband. Understand? That's why women, I always say that in my lecture, women do not have permission to neglect their beauty, to gain weight, not to be clean, not to take showers, not to do all the cosmetic that she normally does when she go to other places. The first priority is to impress her husband until the day she died, until they walk with the kings. She still have to impress her husband. She cannot say, oh, we already married 30 years, we already have grandchildren. What, I'm going to be beautiful for her? We all too old people already. Our days are over. Wrong. Because I can show you in the Gemara that you're wrong. The Tanaim HaKadoshim that were able to revive the dead. One of them, the Gemara say, was the grandson of Choni HaMa'agel. He speaks to Hashem, rain comes right away. No rain months. Everyone in Israel is dry to death. No wheat, no barley, nothing to drink. The animals are starving, no grass. Horrible disaster. They come to Choni HaMa'agel and to his grandson. They had this ability. They pray to Hashem 10 minutes, rain begins. Do you know someone today in the world that can do it? Show me the guy. Imagine there was a guy in Israel today. You come to him, Rabbi, do something. There's no rain, we're dying. Okay. Shir Lama'alot, flood. Okay, it's a coincidence. Miracles happen. He got lucky. Perfect timing. You come a month later, same story. Shir Lama'alot, flood. 10, 20, 30 times. Anyone in the world will dare to doubt him? Do you know what a line he would have next to his house? All the way from here to China. If the fake barbot come from Israel, they cannot do anything. They have lines of fools who comes to pay the money to get all kinds of blessing from them. Somebody that proves himself again and again and again, there will be a line all the way from here to China. So they come to the grandson of Choni HaMa'agel that the Gemara testifies the man of God and is pure and holy and perfect. And they follow him to his house, and his wife came out extra beautiful. So they ask him later, Rabbi, why your wife is putting a show? It's not modest. So he said, she wants to be pretty for me. But they say, still, too much. Why it's important to you? They ask him. They're also holy rabbi. They are the representative of the Beit Din 2,000 years ago. In order for you to have a job like this, you have to be also somebody very trustworthy. So they asked him this question. They were surprised. So he told them, "Shelo eten enai b'isha acheret," that I won't start looking at other girls. From the story of the Gemara, he wasn't a teenager. He wasn't a young man. He was already an older person. And he told the two other rabbis with no busha, with no shame. You know why? She's pretty for me, because if she won't be pretty, I'm going to start looking around. And that's not allowed. And that's against what Hashem wants. So she's doing her job. So you see over here that even the holiest people in history had desire and they cared about beauty. And there's no wonder why the Torah, whenever it speaks about a woman, the Torah always say Yefat Einaim Yefat Mar'eh. Who cares if she was pretty or not? Why the Torah say that Sarah is so pretty? Why Rachel is pretty? Why do we care if she's pretty or not? Well, women has to be pretty. Let them be ugly. What's the point? No, the Torah wanted to highlight this information. Why? On the other hand, it says, Sheker Achen v'Sheker Hayofi. Beauty can be also poison. Can blind you and you don't see all the other problems with her. Ego, pride, this, anger, laziness, this, integrity. That's called Sheker Achen. The beauty can be like a drug that blinded you, hypnotize you, and you don't see the negative things about her. So it's important to have beauty, but if the beauty is the only thing you're focusing on, get ready for a disaster in your life. It have to be a good package deal. It cannot be perfect. If you're looking for the perfect man, forget about it, give up. You will not find. If you're looking for the perfect woman, you will not find. There will always be something not perfect about her. And it's perfectly normal. If she was perfect, she would not be here. The fact that she's here, that means she has to correct things. The fact that he's here, he has to correct things. Don't expect angels. People have high expectation, and they ended up dying single because of their illusions and all kinds of false information that people pushed into their head. So when the shatchanim, when the matchmaker, they say to the guy or to the girl, after the marriage the love would come, I tell you, ani makhish otam. It's not gonna come. It will come maybe 10% of the cases. It's not that it's not possible. They're not saying a complete lie. Sometimes there was no strong attraction in the time of the dating. There was no strong love before. And it was kind of cold. And 2, 3, or 4 months after the marriage, after they became intimate and they feel free already, and they already became close, and there's nothing to hide, and I know him and he knows me and all that, then all the tension that they had before, it's released, and now they can really focus on building their relationship, and yes, the love comes after. It's supposed to be this way. But in a rotten generation that we live in today, the laws of nature are changing drastically. In the old days, you gave a smack to your son, that was the first and last time you will ever have to do it. After that, he will just look at you, it's like he saw Hashem. He never dared to make a beep. Today you give him a smack, he take a gun and shoot at you. Or he call 911 and he gets his father arrested. This is it. Then we live in a different world. When the time they wrote the Gemara, did they ever believe that a kid will call police about his own parent? No way, such a thing. Did they ever dream that teachers in school, if you can call it school, or this public school, in my opinion, is a murder home. It's not even a school. But the teacher educate the kids to call the police on the parents. But at the same time, you can go from the other side. You can ask, anybody ever believe that parents will abuse their own children physically? Where did we eat such a thing? People are rotten. People are mental. People are sick. People lost human dignity. And the world is tohu vavohu, like a zoo. And in a zoo, there's different laws than what a normal world has. You're in a war zone. In a war, you behave different. Certain things you will not do in city, but when you're in a battle, in a war, you do it. Even the Torah says, Isha yefat toar, goya. If you're in home, you're allowed to look at her bichlal. Oh, it's a big sin. Oh, you're in a battle, the Torah says, okay, take her, shave her hair. What's going on here? Why? Hashem no. In a war, it's a different life. Over here, it's a different life. We are now in a war. We're in a war against the internet. We're in a war against Facebook. We're in a war against YouTube. We're in a war against signs of naked people all over. We are in a constant brainwash against religion that doesn't stop for a second all over the world around the clock. We are in a battle that the people who hate religion, they are not passive as they used to be. Used to be passive. I don't want to be religious. Leave me alone. Do whatever you want. What do I care about you? Today, they don't sit home. Today, they dedicate their life to fight and try to hunt as many religious people and bring them down. Someone who starts using drugs, he doesn't want to use it alone. He wants companion. He will do everything to bury every one of his friends with him. He's not going to go down alone with his heroin until he dies. He will offer him, and he will even pay money to call another one and another one. Someone who used to be religious and went down is not going to say, okay, too bad, my life is over and I lost my olam haba. I have to take as many friends with me as I can. Come, I'll show you this and I'll show you that. This is the way the world is. Same thing in marriages. There used to be certain things in the old days. For instance, a man knew a married woman, it's completely out of my territory. Even if he's a big sinner with women, big sinner, he will always make sure to make sins with single girls. If he found out that the woman is married, even a despicable person like him in the old days did not dare to touch a married woman. Today, everybody does it and they don't care and they have no guilty feelings about it, what's happening in the world. Avraham Avinu, he had the most beautiful woman you can imagine. Sarai Imenu, one of the most beautiful 4 women in history. Avraham went to Paro, the king of the world, the king of the strongest empire in the world. He can have any woman he wants. The king of Egypt. They saw the beauty of Sarah, it hypnotized them. So Avraham knew, so he said to her, say that you're my sister. Don't say that you're my wife. Why? Why? What difference does it make if you're my wife or my sister? Why? Because if you say that you're my sister, they won't kill me. Why they won't kill me? How can you say you're my sister if you say that your wife is your sister and then they take your wife away? How can you live when you see that your wife is in the hand of this despicable, wicked king? Can you live in a house knowing that the king took your wife and she lives with him? That's what Saddam Hussein used to do in Iraq. He used to see a pretty woman. He comes, he sends his soldiers to find out where she lives. He comes to the house quietly in the middle of the night. He goes inside, knock, said to the man, take some money, be quiet, and takes the married woman. And that's it, he steals her. Nothing he can do. He did it to hundreds of women. So this is the way it was. Nobody makes a big, what can he do? So Paro can take any woman he wants. So Paro sees Sarah. Now she says, I'm his sister. Of course he's going to take her. So what is Abraham doing? He should have said, she's my wife, leave her alone. But since she was so pretty, Abraham knew that's not going to hold them. So they will kill me to take her. Why they have to kill him? They can do like Saddam Hussein, they take her. No problem, be quiet, get out of our country. You're not welcome here. Your visa expired. You're not going to get a green card here. Kadima, get out of here. And keep Sarah over there, finish. The answer is even a Hitler like Paro would not dare to take a married woman while she's still married to her husband. He will first kill him. To kill, they have no problem. They grew on their sword. Al Kharbecha Tichye. But to touch a married woman, even this murderer would not dare. And we have Jews, went to yeshivot, some of them. They do it with no regret, with no conscious problems. And that's the reason that they are so deep in the Tumah and the Facebook and all these things blinded them. They lose values and destroy them in any aspect you can think of. That's why there should be rules. Before you get married, you should make rules. Kids goes to yeshiva, holiday is holiday, Shabbat is Shabbat, modesty is modesty. We don't want, for a man. Man has women friends. What's going on here? You got married, you have wife, you may have even children, or you don't have children, it's no nafkamina. And you still have friends? No, it's nothing romantic. I can prove to you. It's just friends. Where does it say that Hashem allow you to have female friends? The only female friend you have is your wife, not even your sister. You're not allowed to kiss your sister even. After she got married, that's it. And she was a little girl, you can kiss her, no problem. Once she belongs to another man, you cannot kiss her. Why? Even her husband will feel bad when he see the brother kiss his wife. That's the way the world is. Not as bad when he see a stranger kiss his wife, of course. But even a little bit, he'll feel bad in his heart. How he hug and kiss his wife. Because this is the way the world is. And if you think there's no attraction between brothers and sisters, think again. There are millions of cases like this every week in the world. That brothers rape sisters. All over the world. You can deny it, you cannot deny it. It happens all the time. It happens everywhere, in all religion, to all kind of people. Not only to people poor in a zoo. No. To the top rich people you can go. So therefore, don't think that you know everything. Look at the statistic and you know when the Torah says stay away, the Torah knew what the Torah talks about. Sometimes a man doesn't have any romantic intention about a woman that is really friend with. But when a woman wants to get a man, she has all her tricks and usually she succeeds with that. She has an agenda, he doesn't see it, he's naive. Maybe it did not mean bad in the beginning, but before he realized it will be too late already. Or the other way around sometimes. Sometimes she's a married woman, she doesn't even look in this direction, and a little bit wine and whiskey and something, and all of a sudden her life is over. And now she cannot even be with her husband after that. That's the law of the Torah. She once went with another man, she can't ever be with her husband anymore. She loses her husband, she loses her children, she'll lose her life. And even the man that she was with, she's forbidden for him. So she basically erased. And Olam Haba she also doesn't have. For one hour of a sin. 1 hour. This is what the Gemara says. יש אדם מאבד עולמו ברגע אחד. A person can be tzaddik 80 years, and in 1 minute he loses his eternity. 1 minute. Why? Certain sins, it's almost impossible to delete. Some sins, you make tshuva, no? You make tshuva, you correct yourself, Hashem see, Baruch Hashem. Some sins is very difficult to erase. Married woman is the hardest thing to correct. For her and for the man that was with her. That's why a person has to be very careful. Plus, it's the family values. It's price to pay. In the end, the truth always comes out. If not now, in 10 years. If not now, in Olam Haba. If not now, in front of Hashem and all the tzaddikim. So what's going to happen in the end? Where a person's going to hide? 20, 30 years, he got away with that? In the end, he will have to face his actions. So now, let's conclude so far what I said. In order for the marriage to be successful, both sides have to be sure that they like each other, love each other physically, emotionally, and that. You have to see that the traits of the person you're about to get married to are decent. I didn't say an angel, no one is perfect, and people get angry, and people sometimes have show-off, and ego, and stinginess, and laziness. We all have. But it has to be in a normal level. Up to normal level, fine. More than that, it's already a big problem. If he gets angry once or twice a year, no, what can we do? Better without it, but it happens. But if he gets angry every 2 minutes, can live with a person like this in a house? Better to stay single for 1,000,000 years than to be married 1 year to a guy like this. Destroy you mentally. You don't have life. So where is my freedom? I used to be a single guy, a single girl. Look what happened to my life. Living under constant torture. Or laziness. What does it mean, laziness? Stay up at night, cannot get up in the morning. He cannot learn normally anywhere, even secular studies. Cannot be a husband, cannot be a supporter of the house, cannot have a steady job. Every job he gets fired after a month or two because he 1 day can't, 2 days he doesn't show up. Everyone loses their patience for him. His reputation eventually gets ruined and usually leads to depression. And the poor woman now has to be the husband also. On top of all her other things, she has to beg him to get up from the bed. No Kriyat Shema, no prayer, no tefillin, no nothing. What kind of a man you got yourself? Another baby that you have to change his diapers and beg him to get up? Oh, bad. You understand? You have to be very careful. Drugs. Drugs, it's called Yehareg Velo Ya'avor. Nothing is more stupid than to marry a person that has a habit of using drugs. Even if you cannot call it yet an addiction. Addiction means that if he doesn't have it X amount of hours, he's even going to kill for it. He's going to sell his own mother like they do. He's going to grab her television from her home and sell it for another injection of heroin. That's an addiction already. He cannot live without it. He will rob a bank. He will rob a store. He will break into a car. That's what they do, the junkies. But even if he's not in this level, we're not talking someone that is already, like, chas v'shalom, his life is over. But, Rabbi, it relaxes me to smoke. A little every once in a while. Someone who wants to marry a guy like this, how many problems she's going to have in her life, because this is affecting their moods. It become more and more dependable on it. His eyes always red, horrible smell in the house. One day the children find out what a loser their father is, standing in a closet and smoking like a rat. Yeah. And then the husband say, honey, let's move to Denver. Denver? Are you Bukharian from Rigo Park? What Denver now? Don't worry, I checked, there's Bukharians in Denver also. But why do you want to go to Denver? Why? Honey, don't ask too many questions. I have opportunities, business, this. What's in his mind? In Denver, he can smoke all day. It's legal. You laughing? I was in Denver 2 or 3 months ago. I went to test the stuff, if it's good or not. So the guy that was hosting me told me Denver is the only place in America the economy is booming. I said, what changed in Denver? He told me 1 million people moved here in the last year. I said, 1 million people in 1 year? How many people in this state that you have 1 million moved here? Say they're building roads, they're expanding the airport, I see everywhere I go, construction, buildings, developments. He told me economy is booming, the government already picked up hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes. What? It's legal to smoke. People leave their homes, they leave their businesses, they leave their friends, they leave family, to go all the way to live in a place like this that they're not used to. For what? Like this. No, you want to have a husband like this? Come on, be logical. Without offending anyone. If you are like this, start changing today. Don't blame the speaker, blame yourself. And change. Oh, it's hard for me, it's hard for me to function without it. It kills the brain cell. It killed the brain cell. When I was teaching in yeshiva, it took me 1 or 2 days maximum to know who was a heavy smoker and who wasn't. Because remember, yeshiva is for Baalei Tshuva, so we have chilonim coming all the time. So right away, when I say, wow, you used to smoke a lot. How do you know? I see how your brain cannot focus more than 5 minutes. And he is also chiloni, also secular, but his brain works. After he becomes religious, he begins to learn Gemara, he's working his brain. Why his brain cannot work and his work? Because it burns the brain cells. Massively doing it destroys the person. Cannot function in anything in life. And it depends on it more and more and more. Cannot live without it, it's not a joke. And then, of course, I'm not talking about that it starts with that and then it's not satisfied him enough, so he goes to cocaine and to heroin and to all kinds of other things until he's standing on the street collecting 50 cents like this. Can you spare some change? He used to be a lawyer, used to be a doctor, collecting. I saw one time a movie about those junkies, how they stand in the freezing weather in a gas station and they knock on windows collecting quarter. As soon as they have enough money, they run, they buy, they put in a needle and they inject, and they show over there that the guy has every vein of his body full of holes. He doesn't have where to inject anymore. He injects inside the eyes. I say to myself, if they only show this film in all the schools, probably no one would dare to touch drugs after that. Only someone that is really, really, really stupid would still do it after watching that film. But they're not going to show it. They're not. It's very big business in this country. It's very big. FBI, police, thousands of jobs, billions of dollars budget. This is it. It's all a part of the corruption. Look what's happening in Mexico. I was in Mexico before Pesach. My host over there told me, I said, I heard it's very dangerous over here to live. So he said to me, It's like in Israel, you have terrorism and you have attacks, but you don't feel that it's danger to live in Israel. But still, things happen. So I said to me, tell me, did you ever saw the cartel wars? He said, one time I was driving my kids to yeshiva, and in a light, in the morning, a person is hanging on the light. The cartel hung somebody on the light, and the children are looking, they see somebody is hung from his neck on the light. You understand what's happening? So this is it, this is a part of this. So I wanted to highlight this. You want to get married, clean. Cigarettes is also a drug. It's a problem, it's also a drug. If you can live with the smell and the bad habits of cigarettes, it's your choice. I would never dare to, myself, never agree to marry someone who smoke. But that's my personal opinion. But drugs, that's already, also alcohol. Some people have this habit. They drink non-stop. Some people, they know how to drink without losing control. Not that it's good, it's also a bad habit. But at least they never fool they make their wives a fool in front of everyone. They're not saying stupid things. They don't smell, they don't, you know what I'm talking about. He's in control. But some people, they do not know how to drink. As soon as they drink one tiny glass, the whole mall is looking at him, screams, Moshe, Yitzchak. He comes to the store, he makes bushot in a wedding. After he drinks 4 or 5, he stands on the table, take off his shirt. And the poor wife is dead sentence for her. The whole world see what a foolish husband I have. And even though if the people know that he's drunk, even after he becomes sober and everything is fine, the impression will stay forever. Forever. Everyone will know her husband is a clown, foolish clown, that's it. And that's going to reflect on the children and the entire name and reputation of the family. And then they say, she's just like him if she chose a guy like him. Because this is the way it is. So you have to be careful who you choose. Now, we're going back to what we said. So you check anger, that it's not too much. Up to a certain standard is normal. More than that, it's already a very big problem. Generosity, money. You have to be very, it's more applying to the man, because the man, his job is to be mefarnes the house, and he's supposedly the boss on the money, even though in America the rules are changing now. The women controlling the money now. Gershon, don't touch the money. What do you mean? I made that money. You did not make the money. The money belongs to me here. There's a joke. In Israel they have a joke. One woman, her husband came from a Muslim country, without saying names. She saw that her friend, that her husband came from Poland, is washing the dishes. So she said to him, Gershon, make sure I don't find any stains on the plate. That's before they had dishwashers. Yes, honey. So this woman, that her husband came from an Arab country, she said to her, how did you do such thing? How you train him like that? So she said, first day I didn't see him, second day I didn't see him, third day I saw him, he got the point. Try the same, you see it's gonna work. So the other woman, she came to her husband, after a week she comes, she said, no, how did it go with your husband? So she said, first day I did not see him, second day I did not see him, third day when the swelling started to come down from my eye, I began to see him. You control, in the Arab countries, the woman cannot control the man. Why? Because I told you, the mentality over there, the women is nothing. Nothing. And even if you respect her and give her some respect, bottom line, the law, the official law, women are nothing. They cannot be in charge, they cannot be presidents. Why? It's against the chauvinist mentality of the Muslim country. Also, you should know one thing. When you choose a spouse and you get married, Besides checking laziness and generosity, for instance, it can ruin the house. Why? Everything she buys, you check. What did you do with that? What is this charge? What is this? Why did you take extra $20? Why you took the kids for pizza? Why can't they eat bread and peanut butter? Why do I have to pay for a pie of pizza every other day? Why this? Why you bought them a new suit for the holiday? They already have a suit. No, but the suits are short. That's it. They grow up. No, take it to the tailor to make it. Every little thing become a war. Why? Stingy. It's a mental disease. It's a mental disease. What do you think stinginess is? No emunah in Hashem, no confidence in Hashem, and mental issues. Otherwise, if you know Hashem gives you, what do you worry about? Hashem will give you. You see that you spend the money, He'll give you more. That's his interest, that people would enjoy what He gives them. Not that they hide it in a box all their life, and in the end, Uncle Sam will take half of it. Now, one more thing, when you're finally married, with all due respect to the parents, they deserve all the respect and all the appreciation. The Torah says, "Ve'azav et aviv ve'imo ve'davak b'ishto." After you meet your wife and you get engaged, from the minute you got engaged, even though you get married in 2-3 months later, or whatever the case is, from the minute you got engaged, your parents have no say in anything. Nothing. Even if your father bought you a $10 million mansion, and he gave you a business, and he gave you money for life, and I don't know what, and you depend on his help, or whatever the case may be, thank you very much, I appreciate all your help, it's fantastic, there's no words to thank you, but whatever you say, if my wife is not comfortable with one of the things you say, we go by her, not by you. This is the rules of the Torah. This is not the laws of America. This is the laws of Hashem. Same thing the wife. I want to be next to my parents. But I have a job over there. No, don't take the job. But my yeshiva is in there. There's a good yeshiva over there. My rabbi is there. No! I want 1 block away from my parent. Why? She doesn't want to clean. She doesn't want to take care of the kids. She wants to throw them by the parents all day. They'll do the job for her. Every Shabbat they want to be together, Bukharians, Persians, all one big family. Very nice. No problem. But you have your own family. That's it. You don't belong in that house anymore. You want to stay in that house, postpone your marriage another 5 years. But right now you got married, you have a husband. That's it. One of the most important things in marriage, that's what I told you, if you don't have Torah, you don't have marriage. That the husband and wife must assign to themselves before they got married a rabbi that they both trust, they both feel comfortable with, they both know that he will give them the right advice, and therefore they respect his decisions. If one like him and the other one is not, they cannot use that rabbi. If the other one likes him and the other one is not, you can't use it. You need someone that both are comfortable with. Why? If only one side appreciates him, it's like going 2 people to a judge. One feels that the judge is against him. It's not going to ever take what he says. You need that both of them knows that he looks at them equally and he always gives them the right advice, as the Torah commands the rabbis to always give the objective, honest advice with no personal interest. Unfortunately, there are people today who have power and all they care is their own stomach. Don't take people for granted. Doesn't matter, rabbi, doctor, lawyers, judges. People have agenda. You gotta be very careful. You have to see if this person has a clean reputation. No one claims he's a thief. No one claims he does. No one claims he comes to people and blackmail them for money or takes advantage on them being naive or they're weak, or that they trust him. Someone that his reputation is clean, that nobody can come and say he came to me for the money, whatever he did for me was actually for himself. You have to be careful from this kind of people. You have to know this person only wants to do what rights according to the Torah. And now you feel very good. Why? Because when husband and wife fight, and it will happen a lot, even if they're both wonderful people, because the Yetzer Hara does his job. Many times they have disagreements. He wants to go to his parents for Pesach, she wants to go to her parents. They both have the right to be happy on Yom Tov. One would be happier here than not there, but the other one would be happy there and not here. So in a case like that, what do you do? So that's why they need a rabbi. It's like a mentor between them. They have to call him up. Rabbi, we have an issue here. What's the issue? I want to go to my parents. She wants to go to her parents. The rabbi asks questions. Which one is closer? Which one is more religious? Which guest will be here? Which guest will be there? What's this? How's the food? How the kosher? Where did you go last Yom Tov? There are many things to ask. And after that, he say, you go here this time. Okay, no more arguments. Next time, same thing. Rabbi, this time you're going over here. We want to buy a house here, or we want to buy a house there. Which one? He wants here, I want over there. You have to ask your rabbi. Sometimes you can see things you don't see. You're allowed to argue with him in a nice way and bring your points and ask questions. It's not a ruler. Rabbi is a part of him, it's an advisor. He gives you advice and he opens up your eyes to things that you don't see sometimes. When you have a mentor, a third party that you both trust, it saves a lot of fights. Why? Because most of the fights come from ego. All the divorce cases, almost, I repeat, almost with no exception, is a result of people with high ego. He's not surrendered to my wishes, or he thinks she's not respecting me enough. So you have to be very careful never to mix the parents in anything that happens in a house. Anything. The wife can never tell her parents, my husband yelled at me yesterday. My husband did not allow me to buy this car. My husband do not like my food. My husband cursed yesterday. My husband did not sleep at home. He went to sleep by a friend because we had a big fight. You're not allowed to tell it to your parents. You have agony, you have pain. Your parents is not the address. You have to go to your rabbi. Why? Of course, your parents love you. They'll help you. The way parents are, they want to do a lot for their children, and it's very hard for them to be objective. So what happened? If the son comes to his father and tell him, my wife did this, my wife did this, my wife did that, my wife said this, my wife that, she doesn't do, she doesn't clean, she's not a good mother, she doesn't care. What happened to this father and mother? They only hear negative, negative, negative. They don't see the whole picture. They only hear bad. Another complaint. And it's not psychologist, that's his job. He gets paid to hear complaint. But the father, when he hears complaints and complains and complains, what happened? He begins to become an enemy of the girl. He hates her. The next thing, he doesn't want her to come to his house on holidays. And then when she comes, he make her feel that she's not welcome. And then one day the kids grow up and they begin to brainwash the kids against their mother. And this is all the father's fault that shared the problem with his father and mother. Same exact thing by the wife. She has no permission to tell her parents anything that happened in her house. Nothing. If there are good things, you want to make them happy, tell them the good things. He bought me, he did for me, he's such a wonderful husband. That's very good. Make your parents happy, why not? Don't ever tell them negative. Never. This is one of the biggest and the most common mistakes that everybody does, and that's usually destroy the marriages. Parents are out of the territory. You understand? And then I was in a Shlom Bayit case a few days ago, and I said to the husband, please forget about the Muslim mentality that your parents raised you with. Forget about it. It wasn't real, it wasn't good, it wasn't correct to begin with. Forget about this mentality. You have a wife, you have to treat her in a different way than what you think. So he said to me, what do you mean? I said to him, your wife is everything, your mother is nothing. You love your mother, yes, you respect her, no problem. I didn't say to hate your mother, chas v'shalom. But your wife is everything for you. Your wife is everything. The mother can say whatever she say, doesn't matter. You have to stick to your family, to your, so he said to me, I can't. My mother is everything for me. And in my face, doesn't even pretend. So I'm telling you already, it won't change. She is nothing in her face. And my mother is everything. Of course, somebody like this doesn't deserve to have a wife. What do you think is going to happen? Hashem is going to take away his wife from him. And the children, and he's going to have to pay them and give them a house and pay them things, and in the end will die lonely. Or he get married to a woman that will take his heart out, measure for measure. In the end, everyone pays for what they do. Hashem gave him, until now, he was not educated. He didn't know. That's the way his parents raised him. That's the way their parents raised them. That's the influence of the exile. You live in an Arab country, you become Arab. You live in Germany, you become German. That's it. That's the price the Jewish people pay for being scattered all over the world. They got all the negative from the Goyim. They also got some positive from the Goyim, like delicious food. They have some nice thing also that they brought from those countries, for clothes, whatever. As long as it doesn't contradict the Torah, no problem. But they got lots of sicknesses from the European and from the Muslim world that has no room in Judaism and in Torah and a Jewish family. And that's why I tell each one of you who did not get married yet, you have to take it serious. There are a few good books. You have to read them, A Garden of Peace and some other good books. You read them, your husband reads his book, the wife reads her book. You have to go into the marriage with the intention, I must make it work, because there's no other solution. Divorce is not a solution. Divorce is a much bigger tragedy than bad marriage. Bad marriage, if you really put your ego down and work and learn and educate yourself and put your nose down, you can fix it. To fix divorce, there's no way. It's called me'uvat lo yuchal litkon. Something that broke, a glass that broke to thousands of pieces, there's no way to put it together. Yes, you can go and buy another new glass, but it costs you a fortune. You have to understand one thing. Many people got divorced and they got remarried again. But they're still paying the price for the first divorce. With their relationship with their children, with money that it cost them. I was in California. A woman came to me. By the way, before she even opened up her mouth, I looked at her, I already see a dead person. Person that is walking but is dead. From inside. She said, you know how a person talk and he's holding his tears from the first word? You see how bitter her life was. She said, I'm in a very ugly divorce battle, already going on for a few years. It cost me fortune, it cost him fortune. The lawyers already took one big house, $3 million house, and now they're about to take our second home. I don't know how much the second home was, but already the lawyers made millions of dollars from their marriage. I one time went to Florida. There was a woman that got divorced. Her husband dumped her and took a young girl, a multi-millionaire or billionaire, very, very big businessman. Their divorce cost $50 million lawyer's fees. 50. She paid $19 million and he paid $31 million. And after the divorce was finalized, he died. Hashem killed him. That was the end of it. But you should, it's not a solution. It's not a solution. So therefore you must make it work. You have to make it work. Just like when Chas v'Shalom is sick, you want to live, so you do everything to live. Because today people are, divorce became in fashion already. Okay, so I get divorced. I'll teach her. You teach her, and then you suffer 30 years. What do you think, Mr. Big Shot? And who suffered the most? The kids. Him and her, eventually they forget each other. Even if you're in love with her so much, or she's in love with you, and you got separated, whatever, how long the love would last? 1 year, 2 years, that's it, it's over. Life goes on. I don't sit at home and dream forever that she will come back or he will come back. Eventually you get the point. But it's better, there's ways to do it correctly. And if you're not educated, One more thing and we'll finish with that, then I'll give you some time for questions. One more common problem is financial issues. They also break homes. Financial issues come from lack of emunah. He has no strong connection to Hashem. He doesn't believe that Hashem takes care of all his needs. He constantly worries about the future, and this kind of living with fear and worry about the future establishes tremendous pressure in the mind of a person. It creates anxiety attacks, panic attacks, depression, and all kinds of other symptoms. Parts of the body shake, the eyes, this, that, cannot focus. It causes to forget a lot of things, to say all kinds of things that then you regret. It builds pressure and can even cause a heart attack or stroke. Or some people claim that even cancer comes from constant pressure. I don't know if it was ever proven, but it definitely doesn't help. So the idea is that a person always must work on his emunah, on his confidence. It's not something you gain once and it stays by you for life. No, no, no. You gain emunah this week, a week or two, you leave the books, you leave the lectures, you stop listening, you go down to zero. You go down to zero. I have a guy that I'm talking to about coming to the yeshiva. A few days ago, he sounded like a torch, like a fire. I'm closing everything and I'm coming to the yeshiva. Today, he sends me an email. I almost cried when I read it. He said, I feel so sad today, I don't even feel like putting my tefillin on. I do this, I do that, I'm beginning to have doubts. Should I even do such thing about Torah, about Hashem? Having doubts. A few days ago, I was ready to come to yeshiva like fire. Now I have doubt if the Torah is from Hashem, if that's the right thing to do to learn Torah. So on my way here, I spoke to him on the phone, the whole ride. And what did I find out? That since that conversation 5-6 days ago, he did not listen to lectures for the whole 5 days. He went down to zero. This is the way the person is. It's not only him. It can be a very big rabbi. 5-6 days you don't learn Torah. Do an experiment. Follow someone who is connected to Torah, and then he goes off to a break, and check him 5 days later, and you see what a reduction in his level. On his level of emunah, on the way he prays, and the way he behaves. The Torah, it's antibiotic. As long as you take it, it kills the infection, the spiritual infection. As soon as you leave it, right away the infection begins to grow. And then you see results, fever, symptoms. You begin to take the antibiotic again, no more fever, no more pain, no more symptom. So it's a beautiful mashal, beautiful parable. Just like antibiotic that you take in any form of antibiotic, reduce the pain and the fever and the swelling and all that. This is exactly what the Torah does to the evil inclination in the heart of a person. And the way and the antibiotic of the Yetzer Hara is Torah. Barat Yetzer Hara, Hashem say, I created the evil inclination, I created Torah Tavlin. Torah is the spice against it. As long as you take your medication, I have a person that has manic depression, bipolar. When he's normal, he's one of the sweetest person on earth. When he gets an attack, he's one of the nastiest person on earth. It's like two different people. It's like an angel and a demon in the same face. But what caused him to get such an attack? That he does not take his medication. One time I spoke half an hour with his doctor on the phone. The doctor told me the sad part in all what happened with him is that if he would continue to take his medication regularly, he would not get those attacks. The reason that every 2-3 months he gets an attack and we have to hospitalize him and balance his situation 2-3 weeks in a jail hospital is because he stopped taking his medication. So I asked the doctor why. He said because it makes him feel heavy, slow. It's not a good feeling to live with this medication. But Torah, Baruch Hashem, it's not heavy and slow and bitter. It's wonderful. It's great to learn Torah. It makes you happy. It makes you full of passion, full of life. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו. It's our life, the Torah says. Sam Chaim, Ila Machzik Sam, the drug of life, the Torah. Person see the light of the Torah, he cannot enjoy anymore anything else. It's all look like mud compared to the Torah. Why do you think there's so many tens of thousands of people who cannot leave the Gemara? Did you ever see another study that a person cannot leave the book? In history, do you saw people are addicted to learn history? Do you saw anyone is addicted to learn math? Anyone who is addicted to learn Shakespeare? Anyone who is addicted to learn finance? People learn because they have to learn. They have to make money. That's it. That's the only reason. You may enjoy a little bit here and there. Most of them hate what they learn. The only thing that people got into it and they cannot stop and cannot live without it, it's the Torah. Ben Zion Abba Shaul Zecher Tzadik Livracha, my cousin asked him, he was a student, Rabbi, which mitzvah you cannot keep? He was sure he's going to say, Lo tachmod. How can you see a nice tie and not like it? Or a nice house that someone has and not like it? Or a car, or whatever the case is. That wasn't the case. Maybe, ve'afta lereacha kamocha. You should love your friend like you love yourself. Very difficult mitzvah. He was thinking all kinds of possibility, my cousin. He was surprised when he answered him. There's one mitzvah I don't know how it's possible to even keep. So he said, which one? He said, when you go to the bathroom every day for a few minutes, how is it possible for 5 or 10 minutes that you're there not to think about Torah? We're not allowed to think about Torah inside the bathroom. Do you understand what we're talking here about? He has 10 minutes a day to sit in the bathroom, and all days worry when this horrible time would come, that for 10 minutes I'm going to have to disconnect my mind from the Torah. This is the fear, this is the pain in a perfect Jew life. This is how every one of us can be. Remember this, every one of us can get to this level. If we really want and we put the efforts, we can be so connected to Hashem and so full of happiness and joy and no fear and no worry and full of satisfaction and great feeling of achievement every second and sweetness. Life is so sweet and beautiful. If we really connect to the Torah like David HaMelech, read Tehillim, you see who was David HaMelech was. Read Tehillim, read the words. It's not once in a billion years you have a soul like this. David HaMelech wrote, and Hashem would not put it in the Tanakh if it would be a lie. Tov li Torat picha me'alfei zahav v'chesef. Your Torah to me better than all the money in the world. What did he say David HaMelech dream was? Shivti bevet Hashem kol yemei chayai. I wish I had the merit to sit in a yeshiva all my life. Is the king of Israel, the king of the world. Israel was the biggest empire in those days, in spirituality, building Bet HaMikdash. He has a son Shlomo, the smartest person ever lived. And what does he say to Hashem? I want to be yeshiva bachur. I want to go to Or Israel. I want to go to Or Sameach. King. Imagine you come to Obama and say, Obama, what's your dream? After you're already the president of America. I have a dream to join the yeshiva and learn Gemara. It'll be shocking to the world, no? That's your dream? Yes, that's what David HaMelech says. So remember, again, connection to the Torah, first of all, make you a better person. It teaches you what it means to be a husband. Women, the way they are, it's like a mirror. Even if they're nasty in their general way, if the husband is extra sweet and nice with lots of patience and gives lots of attention, they adjust themselves to the husband. You know, one guy came to the Shadchani. He said, do me a favor, I want you to find me the worst girl you ever had in your computer. The worst. So she said, who wants to marry to the worst evil girl? He said, I read in the Gemara that 3 things save a person from going to hell. One is poverty, horrible poverty, cannot buy even a glass of water. Second, stomach problems, no cure, all his life, whatever he eats, constant problem in his stomach. And third thing, an evil wife, a bad wife. So, I see some of the men smiling. And some of the wives don't feel so comfortable. They are wondering right now, am I the one that saved my husband from hell? The answer, no, you are not the one. How do I know? You come to Shiur Torah of Shlom Bayit. Why? Because you want to be a better wife. Because you want your marriage to work. You cannot be a bad wife. You're already a good wife. By coming to listen, I already show you care about the problem. The way to solve a problem is first to acknowledge it, to recognize the problem. Once you recognize the root of the problem, then you can handle the problem and can treat it. If you don't know the problem, you can only see some symptoms. This is like being a doctor. A good doctor doesn't just give you painkiller and to reduce fever because he sees the symptoms, fever, swelling, this, so he gives you medication. No, because then they constantly will return. A good doctor finds the source of the problem. And then maybe he needs an operation. But after that, he will be good for life. What's like a mechanic. Mechanic that detects the real problem in a computer in your car, he fixes the problem. Mechanic that only sees symptoms, car is shaking, this, that. He changed this, he changed that. It sometimes looks that he helps, but he doesn't really detect the problem. Same thing in marriage issues. You have to see the source of the problem. Why my wife behaves like this? The answer is because you are not good. If a man will be perfect, the woman has to be perfect. So this guy comes to the Shadchanit, get me the worst girl you ever had. She told him, you sure? He said, don't worry, I'll still pay you your commission. Relax. He said, okay, I have a girl, nobody wants to hear her name. Yeah, go ahead. So she gets him this girl. They get married, he gives her the commission. A month later, he comes back. Now, I know you're going to come and want the commission back. He said, of course I want the commission back. I asked you to give me the worst girl in the history. You gave me the sweetest girl in the world. She said, excuse me? What do you mean the sweetest girl in the world? This is the biggest switch in the history I gave you. The nastiest, the dirtiest, the horrible personality, criticize, arrogance. What? What are you talking about? He said, I don't know where you're living, but you are dreaming. Nice, clean, polite, cook, support me. When I walk into the house, she stands. It cannot be. Maybe the Mashiach arrived and I didn't know about it. She said, bring her over. I want to see if we talk about the same wife. So I bring the wife and say, yeah, that's her. So she said, can you leave us alone 1 minute? She said to the husband. So he went out and said, what's the deal here? You and I know each other for 10 years. You know hundreds of guys. As soon as they see you, they want to die. They rather die than marry you. What's going on over here? She said, from the minute I found the deal between you and him, that he asked you to get him the worst girl because he wants to go to heaven, doesn't want to go to hell, so he wants the woman to save him. Once I found out he married me because he doesn't want to go to hell, I'm going to do everything I can do to get him quickly to hell. Now she changed her entire personality. She's nice to make sure. Understand? That's ego. It's all about ego. So a person, when he has a mentor, he doesn't mix his ego. The Rabbi say, we have to do, that's the agreement. It's not me that gave up to you. I did not surrender to you. You did not surrender to me. We both surrendering all the time to the third party, which is the Rabbi, which give us the advice of the Torah in Hashem. Finished. Very good. Beautiful solution. Lots of compliments. Working on the respect. Remember that the more you owe a person, the more Hashem judge you on ungratefulness. You can be nice to the whole world and you're not nice to the ones you owe the most, which is your husband or your wife. All the gratefulness that you have for others will count as zero. Chesed has to start at home. Same thing, ladies. Lady, her job is to support her husband mentally, to support him physically, to always be pretty for him, to always be available for him, to always do the best to create, to learn how she can cook better and tastier, and when she can learn and she can check all kinds of recipes, all kinds of things. She has to make sure the house is clean. She has to do her best. If her husband is wealthy, he can give her a maid or two. It's not the end of the world. Let's help her. There's no mitzvah to torture your wife to make her a cleaning lady. No. You can't afford, she's gonna clean. What can you do? But if you can afford, give. Buy her nice clothes, buy her a good safe car, things like this. A person has to know his job in life. Job in life is not to save money and die and leave it in Citibank or in a Swiss bank that in the end they steal it. No. Hashem gives you, enjoy. If the woman makes more money than the man should never feel any lower than her or anything like that, because the money that she makes anyway belongs to him according to the Torah. He still run it, he still manage it, and he's the final authority. If she make $1 million a year and he makes 50,000 a year, now they have $1,050,000 who is subject to his final decision. He should not be a big shot and a dictator. He should consult with her, he should make her happy. There are certain things the wife makes the decision. For instance, what the children would wear, it's her decision. What the children would eat is her decision. What the furniture in a house would look like, it's her decision. The color of the walls is her decision. Where to live if she likes the house is her decision. As long as it does not violate the rules of the Torah, which some of it I mentioned earlier. But you don't have to be happy in the house because you only come in the evening and leave in the morning. She's there all day. She has to enjoy the house. You want green color, she wants blue. You go with the blue even if you hate blue. She wants the dress to look like this. You want it to look like that. You make her happy. You like white flower. She like black flower. Make her black flower. No problem. That's the rules. Torah is the man's authority. Which yeshiva they learn, the man has to make the final decision. He doesn't know, he can't make the decision based on assumption. It's life and death for eternity for the children. Run to the rabbi. Rabbi, you the chief rabbi in this area, from all your experience of the last 20 years, people come to complain about certain yeshivot. Which yeshiva is good? I learn now, by visiting a place, 10 minutes I spoke to the rabbi over there, I learned about 3 yeshivot that I'm always hearing about. I learned which one of the 3 is the best one and the most strict one, and the people get the best out of religion there. So you see, I learned from his experience, or much older than me. He hears about it for much many more years than me. So all of a sudden, based on what he was telling me, now I know next time when someone asks me, where should I send my teenager kids when they finish high school? Which yeshiva? I'm going to know which yeshiva to tell them in Israel. Which one of the 3 is first, which one is second, which one is third. Just like in public school. One place is hell, one place is kafakela, which is worse than hell. So if you have to choose between the 2, you choose hell. You don't want to go to kafakela. It's much worse. Understand? This is it. One place is better than the other. Not all places are equal. Now let's give some time for questions. Now it's your opportunity. Don't be embarrassed. Go ahead, yes.
So, I just have a question about character traits.
Yes.
So let's say anger, for example. I mean, there are some people that are generally angry. Everything that happened, why did you do this? Why is this like that? But for no reason, just mad. That this is how they are. And there's other people that they get upset because of certain things. So let's say you're in a relationship and let's say the girl, for example, I'll use the girl example because I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but let's say the girl is talking to a friend who's a man. It's just a friend, but the guy, he's getting angry now. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Or the girl says to the guy, why did you tell your parents this? Or accusing and things like that. So the anger is getting ignited for a purpose. It's not just a general.
The word anger is a tricky word because you may define a very positive anger here. For instance, if a man or woman going on a date with someone and that someone is still in connection with another girl, the girl dates a guy and at the same time she have another friend who comes to her house or she chat with him on Facebook or exchanging pictures or going together to eat a snack or something. Of course he has the right to be upset and to, what's going on here? How a marriage will be established with a woman like this that have male friends? Or the other way around. By the man, it's even more critical. Because statistically, women can affect the men to make sins with them much faster than men can affect the woman to make sins with him, statistically. So even if the man had no intention to make a sin with a girl, if she wants him to make the sin, usually she'll be successful in that. Usually the other way around is not always like that. Which means if the woman did not plan to make a sin with a guy, he will try and do all kinds of things, but it will be harder for him. So therefore, one way or the other, without comparing, once you commit and start a relationship, dating, engage, marriage, etc., that moment on, the list of all the male friends and all the female friends and all these are gone from the phone, gone from the Facebook, completely 100%. Facebook is not good to have. I always say in my lecture, better not to have Facebook. But if you already have and you refuse to give it away, make sure you're in my page all the time. Or in other good pages that have only Torah. What do you find in my page? Article, and another one, and a video, and another one, and then that's it. No news, no cooking, no Hollywood, no Broadway, no sport, no nothing. You enter, it's like walking into a yeshiva. Rabbi Shimon Yortzai, Lag BaOmer, Omer, Shabbat, Mechalel Shabbat. What can go wrong? Why I say it's still better not to have Facebook? Technically, Facebook is the greatest gift Hashem gave ever in history to people. We can change the whole world with that. The problem is, with the same gift, you can destroy the world. Now, when people have two possibilities, good way and bad way, statistically, usually which one they choose?
Bad way.
Bad. Same thing, cell phone. Cell phone is a great thing that Hashem gave humanity. Saves life. It makes us money. I run the world through this phone. You know how many emails a day I get? You know how many things we do? Text, this, connection, people, shidduchim, arranging lectures. Millions of mitzvot are done through this phone a year. But most people with the phone, what do? Sins. They have internet, they see things they're not supposed to see, they exchange things. Horrible. Teenagers. A teenager come to you, Abba, I want a cell phone. What? Why a 16 years old needs a phone? All my friends have. No, don't worry, without internet. She goes to Bet Yaakov. Religious girl. No, Abba, no, you didn't get me wrong. I don't want an iPhone or an Android. No, only a phone with text. Many fathers get fooled by it. Okay, that's no problem. Get her a phone. Here, take a prepaid phone. Do you know how many thousands of girls from Bet Yaakov and other good schools are already chiloniot now because of the text? You know how many boys are off the derech because of this texting? You have no idea what happened with that. What can go wrong by exchanging messages? It's like talking on the phone. Hey, you coming? Where will I meet you? Tomorrow the Shiur Torah. There's a lot of good things done, full text. As a matter of fact, text save me hours every day. Why? Because when a person wants to ask me a question, I force him to text me. My voicemail is always full, because there's no way to keep track on how many messages, so it's always full. And I don't have, of course, time to call anybody back. So I said in my message on my phone, if you have anything, please text. When he texts me 2 lines. What's the question? I answer him 2-3 lines, and it's done. If he gets me on the phone, he keeps me an hour because he enjoys talking to me. So tell me, where did you go to school? He asked me, how many years you in America? How many children you have? Imagine if every person who wants to ask me a question would start check my biography. You understand? Text, it's forced to do a lot of positive things. But the problem is that we cannot ignore the reality. It's a huge gift. People take the gift and make sin. Same thing cars. Car, it's good or bad? You go to work, you make money, it's good. You give people a ride, it's good. You drive to shul, it's good. You drive to Shiurei Torah, it's good. You do all your business, family, this, trips, issues, whatever, it's very good. But if you drive to the disco bar in Manhattan on Friday night, here you go, you lost your eternity. So car is good or bad? Depend to who. So some people it's very good. They drive to yeshiva, to school. They do good things with that. Some people it's the biggest destruction. All they do is make scenes with the car. You understand? So therefore, what I'm saying like this is anger. First of all, anger doesn't mean he has to scream, get upset. Let's put it that way. If a man gets upset because his fiancée still have male friends, it's hard for her to let them go and to stop exchanging messages. 1,000,000% right. And if she refuses, you should not marry her. Because these problems will only become worse with the years. Why? As soon as there's some arguments in the house, or he has some pressure at work, and his wife is not the nicest today because she herself is after depression of giving birth, what do you think he's going to do? Run to this friend and run to that friend, and that's the end of his marriage. Or the other way around. Or women, same thing. All of a sudden, she wants someone to comfort her, so she remembers her boyfriend from high school. Happens all the time. You understand? You gotta know to put boundaries in life, otherwise your life will be destroyed and the pressure and the payment will be endless. And talk to me, because I have a lot of experience. I see what's happening every day. So, of course, we have to know, that's it, you made a decision. You have to build your marriage from the beginning in a healthy, with good foundation way. And then later, you see the tree blooming beautiful. If you plant it good, in a good place, with the right atmosphere, sun, shade, whatever, with good water, all that, then the tree will give beautiful fruits. If you do not do it right in the beginning, later the fruit are rotten, full of worms. That's the way some marriages look, because of the Magid, Reshit, Me'acharit, the Torah say. The Torah say, you want to know how was the beginning of the relationship? Look at the end, how it ended. How it ended reflects how it started. You see a shul, fights, what people wants to kill each other, arguments with the rabbi, firing rabbi every 2 months. Go to the beginning and see that this shul was built with stolen money of drug dealers, of rich people that open their businesses on Shabbat, and crooks that cheat their customers in the business, people who cheat the government, people who have all kinds of dirty money, or people who wanted their name to reflect on a building that they can walk on the street with their show off. Because of that, the place has no blessing. Shul or yeshiva that was built l'shem shamayim, the blessing will never leave the place. It started with rotten people, that their money is not kosher. No wonder that you have so many problems. Everything goes after the beginning. That's why the beginning must be good. But Baruch Hashem, we have the ability to do tshuva. Even though we didn't start good, if we do tshuva, it's like pressing stop and pressing play from the beginning. That's really tshuva. It's a miracle. The Torah said tshuva was created before the world. Why? Because it cannot fit in the law of nature. It contradicts the laws of nature. Law of nature is the more you damage your tree, the worse the tree gets. The more you damage your car, the worse it's going to drive. The more you damage your clothes, there's no way to fix. Tshuva, it can be completely finished, completely ripped, completely broken. You press a button, it becomes brand new. It's against the law of nature. Person had millions of sins. Hashem wanted to bury him alive. And all of a sudden, he made tshuva, he cried, Yom Kippur, he started to keep Shabbat, he stopped with his nonsense, he threw away his smartphone, he made changes in his life. And the Rambam right, yesterday was despicable, hated, could not be tolerated, and now is loved, admired by Hashem. Oh, everything turned around. Baruch Hashem, if we started the relationship not good, and it was bad until a certain point, if we want to do tshuva now, tonight, right now, we'll do tshuva, it would come today we start. And the past will not be remembered. And Hashem will help a lot to fix things that normally otherwise cannot be fixed without tshuva. It can only get worse. But tshuva, Baruch Hashem, repentance, is a huge impact. More questions? Yes?
יש זוג שנאבד להם בשעה כתובה. אז זה אומרים שהם חייבים להתחתן עוד פעם?
No. A couple that lose their ketubah don't have to get remarried. They married even if the ketubah is lost. The only thing they have to do, the woman has to go with the husband to the rabbi and they make a new ketubah. Ketubah, it's the agreement that protects the woman's right. When a man marries a woman, he's signing a ketubah that will give us a house to live, clothes to wear, food to eat, an intimate relationship. And it also says in the ketubah, if one day he will divorce her, her rights comes before the children and before any other person, that she collect the money that he wrote in the ketubah from his assets, and everyone else comes after. The children take the rest, etc. That's why when a woman gets the ketubah, it's like an agreement to protect her rights. She has to put it by her mother, not by the house. Because if one day she's starting to have a fight with her husband, the husband will steal the ketubah, she has nothing. She cannot come to Bedin and say, oh, he wrote that if he divorced me, he'll give me $200,000. So the rabbi said, okay, where is that agreement? I don't know, he stole it. It's like having a check and you lost it. That's not one thing, you cannot collect. That's why the ketubah is to be by the mother. And many women tell me, no, my husband will never do such thing. He's a nice man. Of course, everyone who got divorced in an ugly battle, when they got married, they never dreamed that that's the way it's going to end. So you don't know. Even nice people turn into monsters when it comes to money sometimes. Yes?
So I have it hung up like on my wall. I think it's a bad idea.
Go get it before it's too late. Grab it. I tell you now, right now your husband is embarrassed to take it in front of everyone. After we leave, he may run and grab it first. I'm joking. All right, no more questions before we finish? Psh, what a great audience. 2 or 3 questions, that's it. No? Man doesn't have questions?
What do you mean that a woman is like a mirror?
A woman is like a mirror means even if naturally she's not such a good person and she's not so friendly and warm and that, if the husband will be nice for a long while, few months, no matter how bad she is, he will continue to treat her with respect, no screaming, no comments, no hard criticism, still help. It gets to a point that she cannot live anymore with this conflict. She will be forced to change. So therefore I always tell husbands, even if it's your wife's fault, the way the situation is, you can still fix it. How? Without fighting with her. Just you change your way, and then you see that after a few weeks or few months, she's changing, because this is the way Hashem made it. The Torah says, "Ve'elishech tshukatech v'uim sholbach." The desire of the woman is to the husband to satisfy him, and always to be controlled by him. She loves it. She wants it. This is her nature. But she only wants it if he's worthy of it. If he's a monster, she doesn't want to be controlled by him. The opposite, she resists him. She disrespects him. People call on the phone, "Hi, can I speak to Moshe?" Moshe! The person already knows what's going on in the house. You understand? So if it's good, she will surrender. If it's bad, not only she won't surrender, it can be a disaster. No more questions. Tov. I want to say thank you very much for having us here. No more questions? Then you regret that you didn't ask.
What about working on Shabbat? If I cannot.
Working on Shabbat?
Yeah.
I have a better question. You should ask me, what about being a hitman? Why are you laughing? It's less than working on Shabbat. It's a smaller crime. What, you don't believe me? What? Who gets a bigger punishment? A murderer or Mechalel Shabbat in the Torah? Mechalel Shabbat. So what are you laughing? Why are you laughing? A Bukharian barber is a bigger criminal than a hitman.
But if you don't have a choice, you need to support your family.
So come work for me. I have a list of people to eliminate. 20,000 ahead. What?
When can I start up 6 more days? 6 days.
Why cutting hair for $100 to $200 a day when you can make 20,000 in 1 minute? And it's a smaller crime. By me, it's one murder. One Chilul Shabbat is millions of sins. And each one of them is worse than killing. Think about it, what an absurd. A guy comes from a good family, He's okay. All day he works for his boss, standing, breaking his back, cutting hair, making $100. But every time he went like this, every one is like lighting new fire. Each one, it's a separate punishment. It's not one punishment for the whole Shabbat. Each one is a new violation. So now, if you compare Mechalel Shabbat to a murderer, let's say for now that it's equal sin. So every time he went with the scissor like this, it's like he killed another man. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm not exaggerating, I promise you. And I'm not being extra strict. I'm telling you the exact law of God, of the creator of the world. I did not write the Torah. So if you go like this, 1, 2, 500 times a day, it's like killing 500 people today. But it's actually worse. Because if he killed 500 people today, he will get 500 punishments that each one is smaller than the 500 cutting. So for $100. 500 men buy meat, 20,000 a head, $1 million a day. Instead of $100, and it doesn't break your back. You can sit in the air-conditioned car and shoot. Yes. No? No working on Shabbat even for $1 billion cash, even for 1 minute. Not even 1 minute. You should know, if you have a $100 million mansion and there's fire holding the rug now, you're not allowed to put the fire off on Shabbat. Only if there's life risk, there's a baby in the other room and it's gonna go and you're not gonna be able to take him, then you're allowed to put the fire off. But there's no life risk, everyone already ran out. And now $100 million mansion with each picture, Picasso, it's 20 million, 10 million, 5 million, statues, art, antique Persian rugs, expensive chandelier, $500,000 kitchen, all kinds of stacks of cash, passports, everything. Just 1 second to be Mechalel Shabbat. To put the fire off with the blanket, not allowed. The Torah says you lose the $100 or $200 million and you're not allowed to do 1 second Chilul Shabbat. Because when you Mechalel Shabbat, you lose eternity. Do you know what the price eternity is? More than $1 billion, more than 10 billion, more than $500 billion. Mechalel Shabbat is 100% a goy, and when he dies, he does not go to the world of the Jewish people. Even if he was the nicest Jew in the world. Nice, friendly, everyone like him. Smiling to everyone, helping people. His Mechalel Shabbat have no share to the world to come. Read in the Torah 12 times. ונכרתה הנפש ההיא מישראל. I'm gonna cut that soul out of my nation, Israel. Clear. Don't need rabbis to interpret that. Don't need to know Gemara. You don't need to know Shulchan Aruch. Every fool read in the Torah. Even a goy knows it. You know how many goyim read the Torah and they understand that? That Mechalel Shabbat is no share to the world to come without Gemara, without interpretation of Rashi. A goy reads. You see, wow, how is it possible that you're talking to Jews in your lectures, begging them to be Shomer Shabbat, when I read in my book, the Bible that I have, that God cut the soul of the Jews when they violate Shabbat? The goy innocently asking me this question. How is it possible? You have to tell people not to be Mechalel Shabbat. What, they fool? They crazy? They need you to tell them not to lose their eternity for $20 or $50? What's going on here? The goyim cannot get it. I'm telling you, if you're smart even a little bit, you will never ever dare to be Mechalel Shabbat. Ever. Ever. To be a murderer is not as bad. Not that I tell you go and be a murderer. It's also very bad. But to be Mechalel Shabbat, it's a lot worse. A Jewish murderer die a Jew. Mechalel Shabbat die a goy. הרי הוא כגוי. Don't believe me? Bring Shulchan Aruch. I show it to you in 7 different chapters. It repeats. Mechalel, who understand Hebrew here? Mechalel Shabbat הרי הוא כגוי לכל דבר. Is 100% like a goy. אם נגע ביין, אוסרו. If we touch the wine became not kosher. You have to spill it. Why? It's $1,000 bottle. $1,000 bottle. Their bottles are worth $20,000. He moved it like this. We shake it, they have to spill it to the toilet. $20,000 damage. Why? But he's a great friend of mine. We grew up together in the neighborhood. He's helping me a lot. He's a wonderful guy. He has such nice manners and class. But he drives the car on Shabbat. he turns his television on, he talks on the phone, he's on the internet, and he moves the wine, you have to spill the $20,000 to the garbage. You take him to bed in, he has to pay you $20,000 for the bottle.
No,
And if he won't pay, in a normal country that lives according to the rules of the Torah, he has to pay. He won't pay, they take away his home. But I have news for you. There's a rule in the Torah that when a Jew made two sins at the same second, one transaction that counts as two sins. For instance, I have a glass here that worth $1,000. And there's a person that I want to kill beyond the glass. So I shoot him, the bullet broke the glass, and went into his head and killed him. The owner of the glass runs to me. What's your details? Call the police. He doesn't care about the murder. He wants the $1,000. He broke my glass. The police came. They happened to find out that I just killed someone, so they put me in jail. The punishment in the Torah for murder, it's death. The punishment of breaking the glass, you have to pay for the glass, whatever the damage is. Now, since they execute the person, he doesn't have to pay for the glass. It's called kimle bederava mineh. That's the law. When a person has to get two punishments right now, you only give him the severe one and you dismiss the other one. Don't start looking into the logic in it, but this is the law. Therefore, if a Jew drives the car on Shabbat and hit another car and total it, $50,000 damage, and the guy doesn't have insurance, he technically has to pay $50,000. The answer, no. Since he gets killed, you don't charge him for the money. Why? He lost his eternity. You worry about $50,000? Leave him alone. Give him a break. This is the law. What do you think? Mechalel Shabbat is a joke? Do you know how much the people who Mechalel Shabbat would suffer for eternity after they die? If you only read the rules of the Torah, you'll jump right now from the window. You won't wait for them. From frustration. If you read one page from Masechet Gehenom, one page. If I was brave, I would teach it. I have a video that I made about description of what happened in the 7 sections of hell. Gehenom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I won't go into detail, but I tell you that the 3 worst criminals are Mechalel Shabbat, Chilul Hashem, someone who embarrassed the reputation of Hashem and the Torah in public, and wasting seed purposely. Those are the 3 worst categories. 7 category of hell, which is the lowest one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7th one, it's called Tachtit Haaretz, the bottom of the earth. Someone that goes to the 7th section, which is the lowest, never come out of there for eternity. Is that enough for you to understand what does it mean to be Mechalel Shabbat?
How do you fix it?
No way to fix it. If you die, it's finished.
No, before you die.
Before you die, you make tshuva. You make tshuva right away. Rule number 1. Today, it's Thursday night. Tomorrow night, Shabbat begins. Everyone who heard me right now and is not Shomer Shabbat, first of all, tomorrow morning, before Shabbat, he prepared the house. He get a hot tray. He called someone of his friend. Can you invite me for Shabbat? We don't really know yet the rule. We want to start seeing how you keep Shabbat. That's the best advice. If he doesn't have, right away, he buy at a bookstore Laws of Shabbat for Beginners and read it. Few hours, he go review the book. He has question, he call Rabbi. You're welcome to call me, I'll explain to you. You can get it out of Google. Put Laws of Shabbat for Beginners. Everything comes out. Prepare the light, get timers to turn the light on and off. You prepare all the food on Friday, you put hot tray, either electrical one, or you keep the stove open and the fire on, and you cover with 2 boards of aluminum. It's called blech. You have it in every store here, hardware, whatever. You cover the fire and you can heat the food on Shabbat. You do not sew, you do not write, you don't turn any electric on, and you don't drive the car. If you want to go to shul, go to shul. You don't want to go to shul, you lose. But I'm only telling you right now how not to become Mechalel Shabbat. Later we'll focus about how making Shabbat a great adventure and pleasure. Right now, first, to save you from onesh karet, which is cutting the soul for eternity. Do not create fire, do not sew, do not write, don't cook anything on Shabbat itself. You can heat up the food though, but don't cook something new. And do not build anything such as chairs, if you bought something, you want to put it assembled together, you're not allowed on Shabbat. You cannot erase letters on Shabbat.
How to deal with the work if you work for the boss?
You work for the boss, you tell him I cannot come.
What if I have a business?
What kind of business?
Big business.
No problem, you put the goy manage for now to keep it. You do not go there on Shabbat. What happens if you go on vacation and you're not here on Shabbat? Who runs the business on that Shabbat? The goy, right now? So start by leaving the business for the goy. It's also not kosher.
Can you clarify when to leave a goy? It's just for the beginning, right? Or always I can leave?
Only for the beginning. Later, if you want to keep a goy, you have to make an agreement that the goy buy the business from you Friday afternoon and sell it back to you Motzei Shabbat. There's a way to go around it, like we sell the chametz. So we trick, but in a kosher way, which means you don't own the business on Shabbat. You buy it right back on Shabbat, and I have to teach you some other ways to do it. Someone who really trusts Hashem, close the business on Shabbat. It's not worry about Parnasah. In the long run, it's guaranteed that Hashem will send him the money that he lost with extra. Just have to trust Hashem that by doing what he wants, you can never lose. Remember this word.
I share my experience. I closed the business on Shabbat
3
years ago.
3 years ago?
The business went up 30%.
Very good. It's always like
Not
that.
any problems.
Perfect, 100%. I had, you know what? I tell you something. I had a guy send me an email. Maybe I should publish it on my Facebook page. Believe me, it's going to make such a kiddush Hashem. Goy, not from New York. He told me, I listened to your lecture about being honest in a business. That someone who is honest in a business in the long run can never lose. And I decided to make an experiment. Which means, based on his email, until that day, he was a big cheater in a business, lying, deceiving customer. He accepted on himself to do business 100% honestly. 100%. Few months later, he sends me an email. If you don't believe me, email me tomorrow. I'll search for his email and I send it to you. He told me, I took your advice, I changed my entire way that I conduct business, and I tell you now, today, you're 1,000,000% right. Everything in my business became much better. Less damages, less problem with the workers, more customers during the week. Everything. You understand what's going on? In the long run, remember the rule, you don't need to be a rabbi to know it. You don't even need to learn Torah to know it. It's simple, common sense. When two individuals has interaction between them in business, in relationship, in any way, and one is giving orders to the other, and he tells him do this and do not do that. When the person that received the order respect and listen and obey all the orders of the first individual, when the first individual see that this person respect me, listens to me, and not only that, he give up his desire for me. He give up his love for money for me. He's willing supposedly to lose money for me. What's the incentive for the first individual who gave the orders? To benefit the person or to make him suffer? You tell me. Find one person in the universe, ever, that you did only good for him, as an incentive is to make you lose more. He would appreciate you very much. Now, so what? He's better than Hashem? Hashem is a liar? Hashem deceive us? He promised and he will not keep? Hashem is angry that we listen to him? Hashem, instead of being happy that his Jewish children agreed to keep the eternal covenant that he went with us, which is Shabbat, so in order that we gave up all our nonsense, and business, and money, and all the rest of the things that we used to do on Shabbat, to keep his covenant that he made with us in Mount Sinai for eternity, the most important thing in our life, and as results of this sacrifice, he will give us punishment? He will take away our money? What do you think? Who is the fool that even dare to think such a thing? Who? So why we are like this? Why? The answer is we're not foolish and we're not evil. It's the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara, it's cancer that eats us from inside. Look how much you lose. The business is closed, you will lose $5,000 business today. Next Shabbat, look, you just lost another $5,000. Look, the bills are coming, you still don't have enough to pay. What's going to be? Another month like that, you're going bankrupt. 2 months later, he lost the business. He's looking for a job half a year. But 5 years later, one shot, he made $10 million. But he doesn't see the connection. Why Hashem didn't give him the $10 million after the first Shabbat he closed his store? Because then everyone will be Shomer Shabbat. As soon as I close the business, I make $10 million. The Arabs would also keep Shabbat. Everyone. I want to tell you a story. There was one guy, 3 partners in a car dealership in Israel. They sell used car dealer, used car. One day, all 3 of them Chilonim, secular, they're not honest in their business, those 3. One day they see a Hasid, an Orthodox man, comes with a boy on a wheelchair to their place. Yes, can we help you? Yeah, I want to buy a car because I cannot send the boy with the school bus to yeshiva, and I have to get a car that I can put the wheelchair in the trunk and take him every day to yeshiva. So, okay. The 3 of them saw Hasid. What does he know about cars? They thought, wow, naive guy, perfect candidate to trick and to steal his money. We have few dead cars, let's push it to him. So he said, what about this car? They said, no, this one is the best, this Volvo right here. Hasid doesn't know, what does he know? He never had a car in his life, he's now forced to buy a car for his son. So 2 partners are fooling him, while the 3rd one is eating his heart. He still have a conscience that did not die yet. The other 2 are, that's it, they don't have conscience anymore, stop working. Conscience is system that Hashem made for human being to stop him from sinning, that he'll feel guilty. But at one point the conscience dies. When you ignore it and ignore it and ignore it, it beep, 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 the warning, beep, beep, beep. You don't pay attention to the ring. One day it stops, that's it. It doesn't stay forever anyway, nobody pay attention to it. So what happened? They now give him a car that they put all kinds of things in the engine that he can drive the transmission another 2-3 days. And after that they will die. It's mamash on 99% dead. But they put all kinds of liquids. There's a way to extend it by 2-3 more days. So the other guy said, no, I don't think you should take this car. There's other cars here. Why you like this car? Both of them look at him like, we're going to kill you. Be quiet. What's going on with you? We have a dead car. We're getting $8,000 for it now. So he said, no, he likes the car. Don't confuse him. So he said to him, no, trust me, there's other good cars. Maybe you like that better. Come, let me show you. He's trying to save him. He feels bad for the kid with a wheelchair. So he said to him, the Hasid starting to look around, doesn't know what to do, 2 against 1. Then when he saw he's starting to count the money, the guy said, listen, don't buy this car. The car is dead. In 2 days it's gonna die, you lose all your money. Right away the Hasid took the money. Are you serious? Say yes. I know the car very well. This car won't drive more than 2 days. The Hasid said, okay, listen, if that's the case, all right. He took his money and left. Now, the 2 partners went so crazy, they started fist fight with him. They're throwing chairs, they're breaking the place up. Then they went to the borer of the mafia. The mafia has a judge. The biggest murderer usually is the one on top. So they put him to be fair now. So they put him over there. He heard the story. So he said to the guy, listen, you decided to be tzaddik, now you pay the price. You have to give each one of them their share in the car. The car was a dead car. You're about to make net profit of $8,000. Your share is $2,700, whatever. You have to give each one of them $2,700. And also, I'm punishing you that you betrayed the partnership, you expelled from the business. You lost your share in the business, goodbye. You cannot come anymore to the business. This was his punishment. Now he went home. His wife is secular. But apparently, מזווגים לו לאדם זיווג לפי מעשיו, the Gemara say. She was a decent secular girl, also with conscience. She told him, no problem, Avi. I'm proud of you. Believe me, I don't care. We lost money. I'm proud of you. You're a great man. This is what I would expect you to do. How is your heart going to feel when you see that this man will get stuck in Yerushalayim with this girl, with the boy with the wheelchair? I'm very proud of you. Okay, now he has to find a job. He's also a mechanic. He goes to find a job as mechanic. 1 year! He cannot find a job. In Israel, it's hard to find a job. He goes from one place to another. He owes money, credit cards up to here, borrow from his in-law, borrow from... He doesn't get a job. After a few months, he started to regret. He said to his wife, oh, I think I made a mistake that day. Look what's happened to me. How God is doing such a thing to me, he asked. I did such a good mitzvah, and in return he gave me such suffer. One day he saw an ad. This is a true story that happened in Israel a few years ago. Remember this. He see an ad. We're looking for bus mechanics, supervisor for a big garage of a private bus company in Jerusalem. They're doing interviews. Bring your resume and come to the place on this day. He comes to the place, he sees 60 guys and girls, all kinds of people there, lots of people. He's thinking, well, where I'm gonna find a job? All day I'm gonna sit here, but I have no job. I gotta wait. He comes inside. He see a member, 12 board members sitting. So you see that the owner of this bus company is Haredim, religious people, all of them, beard, hat. So he comes inside, no kippah, no nothing. So they said to him, okay, we're looking at your resume now. And they say, how many years experience you have in being mechanic? They look at the resume, they look at him, they say, okay, sir, we have people here that have much more impressive resume, more experience. We're sorry, we're not going to be able to give you the job. It's not in America, they fool you. Go home and we'll send you a message. They don't want you to start screaming. So they send you home. They tell you in the face, you didn't get the job. So okay, he gets out, he's ready to die already from frustration. He walks few steps on the street, he see a boy, religious boy, run after him. Excuse me, sir. The people over there in the office, they ask if I can call you to come back. So he comes back, he comes inside, one of them says, excuse me, you used to be a partner in a place, a used car dealer in this street in Yerushalayim? He said, yes, that was 2 years ago, almost. He said, you remember me? He looks at him, says, you look familiar. He said, I am the father of the boy that came to buy a car from you. And you saved me from losing my money, remember? So I want to tell you now, you deserve to get the job. If you're such an honest person with conscience, I'm going to make sure you get the job, even though there's much better people here in a resume. But I am, Baruch Hashem, with influence here. We're all friends here. And he got the job. And the job was very well paid. He paid all his money back. And what was the end of it? He became also Baal Tshuva. He was with all religious people, come for Mincha, come for Arvi, do this, seeking, learning in lunch break. He became Baal Tshuva, which was better than the job. So Hashem tested him 1.5 years until poverty. And in the end, not only gave him a great job, he also made him earn life of eternity by becoming a tzaddik. You understand? Hashem never leave anyone alone. Paying his lover that keep his mitzvot for thousands of generations. The end of Parashat Vayetchanan. I am the faithful God who paid my lovers that keep my mitzvot for 1,000 generations. I will reward you and your children for eternity. It's a verse in the Torah. Somebody asked me today, where does it say in the Torah there's life of eternity? Don't show me Rabbi. Show me where in the Torah. Right away, I blocked his mouth. I told him, La'ativ lecha ulevanecha ad olam. You heard silence on the other line. Silence. He was shocked. He didn't know there's a pasuk like this in the Torah. He runs around, bark against the Torah, bark against Hashem, bark against the Rabbi, bark against all religious people. One word from the Torah, how they say, shut his mouth for the rest of his life. He never knew it. To reward you and your children for eternity. End of story. Now you understand what I say. You shouldn't have any more doubts. If you come and tell me I'm not sure that Hashem gave the Torah, piece of cake. I'll give you Torah and Science DVD. See this beautiful TV cinema here? You put it in. Instead, use it for something good. You watch it. You'll never have a doubt for the rest of your life who gave the Torah. Now you know. I'm lucky. I'm a son of the Creator of the world. He chose me. He gave me Torah, he gave me book of instruction, and it's delicious. Imagine if it would be to torture, to fast every day, never to eat, never to dress nice, to work on Shabbat in a mountain in 500 degrees. The Torah could have been a torture. You want to earn a life of eternity? Work for it! What, you want to eat steak and guj and ashpolon Shabbat, and for that I'm going to send you to eternity? Huh? How the Bukharians sit and eat osavo and drink whiskey and enjoy, and for that they go to heaven. And the guys who go work all day, cutting hair, sweating, breaking their back, go to hell. No? Could be any better than that? You tell me. He kills himself like a dog and has no share to the world to come. And Mr. Gavrielov or Borochov sits at home, L'chaim, Bismo Yishmo, Shirim Shel Shabbat, snores after the osavo for 3-4 hours, come to the shul, hear beautiful singing, all the friends gathering together, he goes to heaven, and the slave go to hell. Could be any better than that? No, you tell me. Could be any better religion than that? What, it's a shame to talk to Hashem? Help me, I'm your son, I need your help. What's wrong with that? Thank you for everything you gave me. What's wrong with that? Dress nice. What's wrong with that? Do not walk naked on the street, because you're not an animal. What's wrong with that? Putting your children in good yeshiva that they teach them to be people, not muggers and walking with knives and rob people and make tattoos in their face and gold teeth in the front. What? No, what? They make them human beings. It's not anymore religious or not religious. Human being or a monster. That's the choices here. Public school, metal detector, 3 police and a security over there. Why? Maybe the teacher will get murdered today.
True.
True, right? That's trust me, I see the public school kids. I talk to them. I see what's going on. Again, thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Thank you very much.